Pippa.
Hi, Andrew.
How are you today?
I'm all right. I feel a bit sleepy in my eyes.
Oh, sleep in your eyes?
Yeah. You know, when your eyes... I feel alive and awake, but my eyes are saying, you should have slept more.
Oh, I can only say, one, I'm sorry to hear that, and two, welcome to the Showstopper podcast.
How are you feeling today, Andrew? Because I think that's what people have tuned into here.
It is. Screw the monthly chat about musicals, improv and comedy. Let's just see how tired are Andy and Pippa this week.
I'd like to reiterate, I'm not tired, but my eyes are sleepy.
And I'm sure everyone listening can fully discern what the difference is there.
But we're actually recording today, not in the Museum of Comedy, which is where we normally record, but in fact in your very own house.
That's right, at Pugsley Towers in East London.
That's right, Pugsley Towers. He's not clean, there's just clothes everywhere. It's quite disgusting. In many ways, I'm frightened for my health.
I have a 2-year-old baby. Everything is allowed. Also, brackets, it's very clean.
It's very clean. There's a joke. You see, he couldn't allow it.
I couldn't carry on without conceit.
It's actually frighteningly clean for someone who has a 2-year-old child.
It's just I'm frightened for how much my wife would be annoyed if she knew that I'd been saying on a podcast that our house isn't clean.
And she is pretty scary, your wife.
Terrifying.
The terrifying wife of Andrew Pugsley, one of his memoirs.
Anyway, Pippa, what are we doing today?
Today, Andrew, we're going to share with our wonderful podcast audience not just our feelings and the cleanliness of your house, but some of the sort of bits that maybe people haven't heard before, some extra bonus tracks, and some of the highlights of our season of podcasts.
That's right. It is our season end celebration.
That's right. Not Seasons of Love, musical theatre reference.
Very good.
But season end.
Could have done with another season musical theatre reference there, couldn't it?
It could have. But I don't know if you know, but I'm quite tired today. Well, my eyes are sleepy.
Your eyes are sleepy. Yeah, we all know that. Great. Yeah, we've had 10 guests on the podcast so far.
Is that that's right? That many?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. We started last year with the amazing Mike McShane.
Yes, and we love Mike, and he's part of Showstopper history. So only right that he started off our podcast life.
When did you first meet Mike?
I don't remember. The thing I really remember was him coming along to, I think Adam Aguido, our artistic director, said, Mike McShane's going to come and join in. And of course, all of us who'd watched Whose Lines Anyway were like, what? And he came and had a rehearsal with us, and he stopped halfway through a scene just going, I'm rubbish. I can't do this. You're all so much better than me. And we were like, no, Mike, you can't say things like that. Sacrilege. So he's always been a very generous performer because, of course, he is amazing. So
and he's such a bon viveur as well, isn't he? Like,
yes.
He's just amazing. I'm always amazed that, we see him up in the festival in Edinburgh every August, and he is just so gregarious and just makes friends with everybody and has this amazing capacity to remember everybody's name.
Yes.
And he's really just interested in other people in a way that is just incredible.
Yeah, which is just alien to us performers.
What? Right?
I'm flattered you remembered everything about me. I've remembered nothing of you. He's a great, and what a great guy to bump into actually at the festival if you're having festival day, which is the day when your brain goes, what are you doing here? You don't belong in Edinburgh. He's the perfect person to see, because he'll be like, you tell your brain to shut up, man. Your brain's an idiot. You're wonderful. You're one of the best people I've ever met. And he'll hold you in his arms and tell you you're all right and send you on your way.
He improvised with us a song in the style of Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, all about getting a 5-star review.
Hey there! Yeah, you! Take the flyer from me, I know that you'll agree. It's the best show that you'll ever see. Another flyer for you, and that will see you through. See what show, see to take a flyer from me.
We were born underneath 5-star.
Yes!
It's a 5-star review.
5-star review!
We were born underneath 5 stars. It's a 5-star review.
Say they're fantastic, amazing, full of skills. There's things you want to do, they're always clear to thrill. But here's the thing that makes them by far. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars.
We were born underneath
There we go. That was Mike McShane with 5-star review.
It's so funny. I know that we made that up, but I was like, I don't remember this song being written. So I know it's made up, but it sounds like it could be us just having found some sheet music and singing. I mean, it's brilliant. It's incredible, really, isn't it? I know I shouldn't say that because I was in it, but I feel like Mike took the lead on that one. So I'm allowed to say, wow, that's mad.
And I said 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, but it's clearly in the style of Paint Your Wagon, isn't it? Musical theatre enthusiasts listening can notice the subtle reference to I Was Born Underneath a Wandering Star from Paint Your Wagon.
But was he supposed to do Paint Your Wagon, or was he supposed to do 7 Brides? Well, I mean, rather than like, well, then it's terrible. But rather that thing when your brain goes, when you're in the middle of the show and someone goes, 7 Brides, 7 Brothers, and your brain decides, oh, that's Paint Your Wagon. So you make a really brilliant reference, which is almost in genre that most people in the audience wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
But there'll be one Andrew Pugsy in the audience going, oh, I think you'll find.
Excuse me, I don't like the characterization of the nerd in the audience as an Andrew Pugsley.
I do. But yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting one when your brain decides to reference something same but different.
Yeah.
Because then you, as an improviser, might feel like you failed, but the audience will still think it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely true.
Well, that was that then.
And after Mike, we've had just so many wonderful guests on the podcast. We've collected in various ways, some of which, Pippa, you have sort of quite aggressively collared after seeing them in performance.
It's not aggressive if you do it with a smile. Well, what happened? In fact, Obi of...
Yes. Obioma Ugoala from Hamilton.
So Obi off Hamilton, because we're such close friends. So he messaged me when I said, I'm in Hamilton on Twitter, which I think I mentioned in the podcast. And then said, I'm so excited you're in. Come and meet us backstage, because he's a Radio 4 fan. So I went backstage with my mum. She was pretty impressed. She thought I was very successful for those 10 minutes. And then I was like, you should come on our podcast, whilst he's still there in his George Washington outfit, sweating from having just performed in one of the biggest musicals in the world. Would you come on our podcast, please? And he did. And he was great.
He was just incredible, isn't he? Yeah, Obi, anytime you want to join.
Obi, the door is open. I know you're currently touring in Dubai with the English Shakespeare Company, but just in case, that falls through, come join us.
In case Dubai falls through.
If Dubai falls through. Yeah, and what an amazing actor, for one. And also got amazing presence, hasn't he? So it comes in the room and you're like, oh, is it Jesus? Did Jesus come in the room? The presence of Jesus. You can have that, Obi. Put it on your CV.
It's time for some outtakes.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
great.
Do
you remember any of the songs we sang with Obi that we didn't put out?
One was about a cheeseburger or something, or a hamburger?
Yeah, that's very well remembered. It's in fact called Royale with Cheese.
Obi, I got a present for you.
What is it?
I went to Burger King and I just chose something. I didn't know what I was doing, but
You did?
yeah. It's got 2 buns. It's got a patty in between. And there's a slice of something else melted inside.
You've made my day. If it's what I think, I'm not quite sure what to say.
It's a royale with cheese. A royale with cheese. And you can eat it anytime you please. A royale with cheese. A royale with cheese. And you can eat it anytime you please.
I'm not really sure what to say to you.
Why not?
I've been hungry and aching for some food.
Oh, come on, Obi.
But now I see what you mean to me. If this is how you make me.
It's a royale with cheese. A royale with cheese. You can eat it anytime.
I'll eat it anytime I please. A royale with cheese. A royale with cheese.
You can eat it anytime.
I can eat it anytime.
You can eat it anytime.
I can eat it anytime.
You can eat it
I can eat it anytime.
Royale with cheese.
It also has examples of what we call the improviser speaks when someone says, I don't know what to say. That is when we as the improviser go, I literally don't know what to say. And we sometimes sing it. And we will have lots of examples of that, don't we, over the years. But again, what a great song, Royale with cheese. And also he had to explain to us what a Royale with cheese was, because I think I explained to him before the song that I was a McDonald's girl, which could have been another song in the musical with Royale with cheese, which is, actually we can't be together because I love McDonald's and you like Burger King.
Wow, there we go.
Because Burger King's more expensive. Let's just put it out there.
Is that your distinction?
But also, and the Burger King tries to pretend that it makes like fancy burgers. They're not fancy burgers. Burger King, same as McDonald's.
I see. I wasn't really aware of that distinction.
Yeah. If you want a fancy burger, you go somewhere fancy, wouldn't you? Like an honest burger.
Sure. Right. Okay.
You wouldn't go to Burger King.
No, probably not. No.
I have the same conversation with Damien Robertson, our tech, as well. He's a big Burger King fan.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow. There goes our chances of being sponsored by Burger King. We were going to use that song as their next marketing campaign.
Oh, were we? Oh, well, so it's about being true to your values, though, isn't it? And I don't believe in Burger King. My values are not Burger King led.
You mentioned there, Pippa, the improviser speaks, accidentally saying their own truth during the song. Do you have an example of that from the show that you found yourself doing ever?
Well, I could give you even an example from just Monday night at the Lyric, where I sang the lyrics, everything's fine, if you just say it out loud, everything's fine.
Amazing.
If you come and see Showstopper more than once, then you'll start to notice when they happen. The things like... I don't know who I am is usually when you've not been given a name as a character. And again, it won't be a passive aggressive thing. It will be a subconscious that you will say, I don't know who I am or what I'm doing here. It means I haven't got a character. Will someone tell me, please?
Yeah, it's literally whatever is bubbling underneath the surface that you don't necessarily want to let out in an improv setting. It always will.
Imagine if we did the show to like the associated royal group of psychiatrists or something. So
Right.
the whole room was just full of psychiatrists, and then afterwards they told us all of the things that we'd revealed about ourselves.
That's quite a terrifying thought. And coincidentally, we are playing corporate for the associated group of royal psychiatrists only next week, Pippa.
Is it? Oh, I can't believe that I don't get to do that. Oh, I'd love to find out about myself.
One of our amazing guests, Luke Kempner, brilliant impressionist and
Actual
all-round
friend of mine. Actual friend.
Genuine
I could
friend.
ring him right now.
Okay, yeah, you should do that. Anyway, I mention him only because one of the songs we didn't put out that we recorded with Luke was me and him singing a song about football. And by the time it came to the chorus, it became very clear what our sort of deep-seated subconscious feelings towards the subject were.
Because football makes you a man. Yes, football makes you a man. And it makes you scared of other men. Yes, football makes you a man. Yes, football makes you a man. And it makes you scared of other men.
So how do you feel about football, Andrew?
I think it's all there.
I think that's so great. I mean, yeah, what a great improviser speaks. It makes you scared of other men. And those are the kind of moments as well that the audience just always laughs the loudest where you have revealed a tiny truth of yourself, but also a truth that probably quite a few of the men in the audience would also go, oh, you've seen me. That's so great. Scared of other men. Luke.
What a funny guy.
He's very funny. He's on tour right now if anyone wants to go and see him.
Hey, you're great with the plugs this episode, Pippa.
I love plugging things.
Okay.
Luke Kempner, many voices or something like that.
Okay, when I say you're great at plugs, I mean you have great instincts. What's your favourite song that we haven't listened to yet from the season, Pippa?
I loved singing with Dan Gillespie's Owls. One of the most interesting songs, I think simply because he hasn't died. He is a songwriter, obviously. So it meant he really brought his pop land over. And that was very exciting for us, I think.
Yeah, that was an amazing song you guys did called I'm a Control Freak.
Yes.
Let's have a listen to a little bit of that.
Please save me from this crazy, crazy, crazy land.
Very cool. It's so different.
It's the swoopiness of it. That's what the swooping. Like we'd never sing like that. It was very exciting.
And we actually sang another song with Dan for another little as yet unreleased moment.
Oh, lovely.
We sang with him a country and western song all about being a family.
Oh, I love a country western song.
Let's have a listen to that.
I love you, Paul.
Well, I sure love you.
I love you too, kids.
Oh, thanks, Grandpa.
No problem.
I love family when I see them every day.
I read in my family tree, and it makes me feel okay.
And when I'm with my family, even at my advanced years,
I know that they'll be with me through my happiness and my tears.
Family, family, the very best thing for me. Family, family, I'm always gonna be happy.
Family, family, the very best thing for me. Family, family, family. I remember when I gave birth to my child, I felt a lot of pain.
4 generations.
And I knew sometimes they're gonna drive me quite insane.
and there were sleepless nights and endless fights, but we got through it all.
Then we got a dog, and then we were whole.
Family, family, the very best thing for me. Family, family, family.
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 And that includes cousins.
The very best thing for me.
Family.
Family.
Family, and you and me and the dog too.
You know what we are? A family.
That's so lovely.
Isn't that nice?
My favourite bit was, and a dog.
Yeah, that was great. I also liked Dan saying, and that includes cousins. just to be clear.
Yeah. This is an extended family. I want to really paint the picture. Oh, it's lovely. I love those coming country harmonies. Great. Don't you think his voice is like Matt Bellamy or something? He's got that very similar, beautiful kind of high swoopiness, as I like to call it.
Technical term, yeah.
Kind of ethereal almost, you know. Yeah, I love it. Very delicate.
Yeah.
But powerful. Like me, delicate but powerful.
Yes. We've had some nice celebrity anecdotes on our podcast.
When Justin Brett came with his stories.
Yeah, I think that's worth playing Justin Brett's celebrity anecdote in full.
It was the opening of Planet Hollywood, and we were inside. I got very, very drunk with Russ Abbott, who, and I went
Who
to
I
Russ
love, by
Abbott
the
because
way.
my daughter was my sister had been at Aura. My sister had been at Aura with Richard Abbott, who's his son. So I went over and said hello, and used that as a sort of excuse to start talking to Russ Abbott. Me and him just ate free burgers and got really drunk. I spilled an entire bottle of wine over Marie Helvin.
Brilliant.
Michael J. Fox and Bruce Willis were playing. They played Johnny B. They played a whole set with the band, and then me and Finty went over and chatted with Bruce Willis afterwards, who was very, very charming.
And told you to call him Bruno.
Told me to call him Bruno. I did touch Patrick Swayze's bottom on the way past the toilet, just so I could say I had done. Hashtag me too. And but at one point I sneezed, and I sneezed on the shoulder of Sylvester Stallone, but nobody saw.
That's hilarious.
It was a
Classic
great
Justin
night.
story.
It's great. There's Showstopper Justin Bratt with the most celeb-packed 30 seconds of any podcast ever.
In many ways, Justin Bratt is a bit like Phoebe in Friends, where his backstory just keeps growing, and you're like, What else did you do? So I love that about Justin. Yeah, he's always got a funny story. But I mean, Bruce Willis. Who has a Bruce Willis story? No one has a Bruce Willis story.
Right.
Justin Bratt does.
A Bruce Willis story that's also a Patrick Swayze story.
Yeah. And, you can't get a Patrick Swayze story anymore, so there's a premium. I miss Patrick.
I mean, you can get them, you just can't make new ones.
That's what I mean. You can't get one. You can't get time with Patrick anymore.
My other fave celeb anecdote from the series was Mel Giedroyc talking about meeting Stephen Sondheim. Do you remember that, Pippa?
Yes, I do. Let's listen to it.
I was too nervous, and also I just thought, oh God, the last thing he wants is another person going up and saying, "Hi, Mr. Sondheim," So I left it quite late. I was on the back foot, and I went up and said, "Oh, Mr. Sondheim, hello. My name's Mel Giedroyc. I play Sarah." And he said, "No, you don't." I said, I'm Mel Giedroyc, and I play. "No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't." And I said, I am. I think it was a joke. Or maybe it wasn't. And that was our only interaction.
Don't ever find out. And that's it?
Yeah.
I just love that Stephen Sondheim in person is just as weird and enigmatic and like frightening as you would imagine him to be.
Yeah, well, because of my friendly nature, I'm always surprised when people turn out to be a bit weird. When you think, you kind of assume, obviously not from the amount of anecdotes we've heard about Stephen Sondheim, but you kind of hope that you go, "Oh, hello, Stephen Sondheim, and I love your musicals," and he'd just go, "Thank you very much. I'm so glad to have brought pleasure to your life." In my head, I think Stephen Sondheim is Jim Henson,
right?
Because I think they both have quite similar faces. Obviously, one is past.
Yes.
But
when you can't make new Jim Henson stories anymore.
You can't make new Jim Henson stories, and that is truly sad, isn't it? Because we love that man, brought so much joy to people's lives. Yeah. But I feel like I would expect a Jim Henson response from a Sondheim, and I wouldn't get it.
Yeah, wow. When I was at drama school, my singing teacher came into class. I was at drama school in New York, and he'd just seen the premiere of the revival of Sondheim's Pacific Overtures on Broadway. And he came in and he said, "Oh, I chatted to Stephen Sondheim in the bar last night." And we were like, "That's amazing. What? Oh my God." And then about 3 months later, he said, "Oh, I met Stephen Sondheim once." And I said, "Oh yeah, you said you chatted to him." He was like, "Yeah, he didn't chat back." And he said apparently when he told the full story, he saw Stephen Sondheim like leaning up against the bar in the interval, and he went, "Now's my chance." And he said, I'd got a good in. I've had like a student in every one of his Broadway shows. There's an in. It just went, "Mr. Sondheim, sorry to interrupt you. I know you get it all the time, but I'm a vocal teacher in New York, and I've had a student in every single one of your shows on Broadway, and I just wanted to say hello." And apparently he didn't even turn his head. He was looking straight at the bar. And then Bernadette Peters came at the other side of the bar and went, "Steve!" And he went, "Bernie!" and went over and hugged her and left him standing there.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's also quite sad that then the first time he told the story, it was, "Hey, I chatted to Stephen Sondheim last night."
Yeah, like he hadn't had time to process the pain of being rejected by Stephen Sondheim 2 centimeters away from you. I'm trying to think if anyone's ever been that rude to me. But of course they haven't, because I'm amazing. No.
Absolutely. Not to your face.
No. Oh, lots of people have been rude behind my back. That's showbiz, darling, isn't it? Isn't that showbiz? Oh, Stephen.
Now, speaking of Mel Giedroyc, she was definitely not nervous when improvising a song with us. Do you remember her approach?
She was so excited. She just went for it. If anything, it was, can we get the microphone back off her? I don't know. She was having such a great time. She's just a joyful woman, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And she really, really, really loves Jesus Christ Superstar. Let's have a listen to that song.
Jesus Christ Superstar, you're a swimming team.
Great.
Goggles on and we're going in. We're gonna swim today together. With lots of lycra, some tights and some bras. They're just so tight I can't feel my balls.
One thing to do about my nose clip. I keep it in a special box.
swim, let's jump in. Everybody 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 swim.
He is the best of us all. This swimmer, he's deeper than all.
I'd like to judge this contest and say everybody has done real well.
What if he were to drown? What would we do then? I don't know, but everybody get down.
Swim, swim, everybody jump in.
Let's
Swim,
do it,
swim,
the
everybody
breaststroke.
jump in. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Yeah. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Yeah. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Swim, swim, everybody jump in. Yeah.
That's incredible. That note as well, the swimming note. Wow.
Amazing. We had Gavin Spokes and Lucy Trodd from Showstopper there. Gavin Spokes, not from Showstopper. Lucy Trodd from Showstopper, doing their best. Caiaphas, their amazingly deep rumbles as well.
A very impressive turnout overall, I'd say. In fact, when we just listened to that back, I thought, gosh, doesn't Mel sound like Lucy? And then I realised it's because it was Lucy. So
that explains that one.
that's those bat-like ears of mine.
Famous for it.
But I love that when someone comes along for the podcast and they really have a musical that they actually genuinely love, and then they genuinely go, this is my only chance to be in Jesus Christ Superstar, so I'm going for it. There is no apology.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what I really... what am I trying to say here? I think that's one of the things that I love about doing what we do, when you get that moment of, I'm never going to be cast as a Viking, but today I'm going to be the most awesome Viking ever.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking when I was Caroline Flack in the Love Island musical, I forget which one it was, but I'm thinking, I would never be the presenter in a bikini on one of these shows, so I was going to enjoy it, and I put the big floppy hat on, and I was like, I am Caroline Flack. Yeah, Caroline, I'm coming for you.
Wow. Terrifying.
Is it? Maybe she'll be thrilled. Maybe she's bored of that bikini and that floppy hat.
She just wants the relief.
She wants someone to come and hold her hand.
Great.
Speaking of Sondheim.
Which we did about 4 minutes ago before we played the last song.
Oh, yeah. But we're just learning how to make podcasts right now. Did I mention I've got sleepy eyes?
Yeah, I've got sleepy eyes.
That is one of our favourite styles to improvise in, actually, isn't it? Wouldn't you say, Sondheim?
Stephen Sondheim. Yeah, and I think partly because there is like such a breadth and variety of his work. It's like it's so open and it's such interesting and diverse writing that gives us so many options.
I think it's much easier to extend your character into, in a way.
Yeah, and all the Sondheim musicals are acting pieces, aren't they? So it's like it makes you bring your good acting.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. I don't think I've ever thought this out loud before, but the fact that you can bring the speech shape of your character into the song much more easily in the Sondheim.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not kind of forcing our characters then into something else, which can be funny in itself. If you're playing a lord or something, and then you've got to sing a Seven Brides for Seven Brothers song, then that's quite funny to see the change of register. But if we're doing a Sondheim number, then it can grow a bit more organically. When Rachel Parris, viral sensation Rachel Parris, when she was in our podcast.
I was thinking viral sensation is such an awful title for people. It just sounds so awful.
What title would you prefer?
Awesome Improvising Woman.
When Awesome Improvising Woman, Rachel Parris, was on our podcast, I think it was you, her, and Ruth Bratt.
Ruth Bratt of the Showstoppers. And People Just Do Nothing fame.
Correct. A viral sensation. I think she was a viral sensation when she did her Yorkshire tea.
Oh, that was a great advert.
It was very good.
If you just want a bit of extra love in your life, just Google Ruth Bratt Yorkshire Tea on YouTube and your heart will flutter.
It's really good. Anyway, when Rachel, Ruth and you, Pippa, made up a song on our podcast, it was in the style of Sondheim acolyte Jason Robert Brown. It was about coffee and it was terrific.
Well, let's listen to it and then I'll congratulate myself.
I need an instant coffee, something that I can instantly grind to, something that I can hold in my hand and feel like everything's gonna be okay. I need a really deep coffee, something that someone has taken their time over, because I feel that that's the way I should be.
I need a plain, strong, massive black coffee, please. Something that just gets me through the day. Not fancy, but not instant. You're crazy. Something that makes me feel alive. I want to feel more alive today.
I want to brew something. I want something to start afresh, 'cause I feel like it's a mess, everything that I got myself into. I need something to wake me up, something I can drink from a cup, 'cause I feel like I've been sleeping and weeping over someone I don't know.
I feel I need a little drop of cream, a little sweetener, 'cause I want to stir things up. And I feel I need something added to the mix, 'cause it's time to mix things up.
I want to stir it up. I want to stir it up. I want to mix things up. I want to put the beans in the grinder and find a way to get through the day, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Well, that all sounds really nice.
Just feels like sometimes things are overcomplicated, you know? Sure, I mean, you know, all you need to make coffee is water and a coffee bean. Do you know what I mean? And I think that we make things a little overcomplicated.
All you need to make coffee is a little cup and a little bit of heat. That's all you need. Sometimes things seem harder than they should.
Like when you go in a shop and you say, can I have a coffee? And they say, oh no, do you want a frappuccino or a cappuccino or some kind of chino or a cold or a chino, a chino, a chino, a chino, a chino. I just want to stir it up. I just want to mix things up.
I just want to shake things up.
Turn them around, 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 around. Mix it up, stir it up, stir it up.
Mix it up.
In a tiny coffee cup.
Ah.
Beautiful.
I disappeared there for a minute, imagining us all in a little coffee shop. That was lovely. Who was on keys? Was that Christopher Ash?
Yeah, it was Chris Ash, yes. And interesting, since we've been talking about the great man, it had quite a few sort of Sondheim-y ideas in it as well, I thought.
Sondheim and Jason Robert Brown are never that far apart, are they?
Yeah, I think Jason Robert Brown owes a big debt to Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Didn't he like write him a letter when he was like 17 or something, and then sat on his knee and got some tip?
Yeah. I think what you're referring to is an incident Jason Robert Brown has talked about, when he was in his late teens or early 20s or something in the 90s, and he went to see the premiere of a new Sondheim show. I think it must have been Passion, maybe, or one of those 90s Sondheim shows, and he didn't like it. But through some family connection, he had dinner with Stephen Sondheim afterwards. And that was apparently, as a young, cocky composer, he had trouble hiding it when Sondheim asked him what he thought of the show. And apparently, Sondheim then wrote him a letter or maybe called him or something the day afterwards and schooled him on how you have to behave towards someone who's just made themselves vulnerable by putting their work out there in public. I think actually, Yeah, let me read what he says. This is on Jason Robert Brown's website. This is what Sondheim said to Jason Robert Brown. Nobody cares what you think. Once a creation has been put into the world, you have only one responsibility to its creator. Be supportive. Support is not about showing how clever you are, how observant of some flaw, how incisive in your criticism. There are other people whose job it is to guide the creation, to make it work, to make it live. Either they did their job or they didn't. But that's not your problem. If you come to my show and see me afterwards, say only this: I loved it. It doesn't matter if that's what you really felt. What I need in that moment is to know that you care enough about me and the work I do to tell me that you loved it, not in spite of its flaws, not even though everyone else seems to have a problem with it, but simply, plainly, I loved it. If you can't say that, don't come backstage. Don't find me in the lobby. Don't lean over the pit to see me. Just go home and either write me a nice email or don't. Say all the catty, bitchy things you want to your friend, to your neighbor, the internet. Maybe next week, maybe next year, maybe someday down the line, I'll be ready to hear what you have to say. But at that moment, that face-to-face moment after I've unveiled some part of my soul, however small to you, that is the most vulnerable moment in any artist's life. If I beg you, plead with you to tell me what you really thought, what you actually, honestly, totally believed, then you must tell me I loved it. That moment must be respected.
Wow.
Thus spake Sondheim. And Jason Robert Brown was never mean to anyone ever again. There we go. Amazing.
Wow.
We're sort of almost out of time on
that's
our
sad.
season-ending compilation episode. A bit like an episode of an American sitcom where they don't have the budget at the end of the series to film a full episode, but they have the characters stuck in a lift remembering things they did in the last year.
Yeah. We should have maybe recorded it in that style. We should have maybe gone, oh, Andrew, why don't you just go and get me a coffee? Speaking of which, and then...
Yeah, God, you're right. We should start from scratch again.
What's our last thing we're going to share? We'll try and do it. We'll try and do it in the style of that.
I mean, that was the last one.
Oh, that was it. Oh, that's how... Well, don't worry about it then. We'll forget it. Next time we do a compilation show, one, I'll ask for a list of what we're doing before we do it.
Yeah, great.
So that's my bad prep. And two, we'll do this style. We'll do it in the style of a Friends Christmas special.
Okay, great. It's a deal. This time next year. Hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, or indeed any other episode of the Showstopper podcast, you can go onto iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts and give us a 5-star rating and a little review.
That's right. Or you can follow us on Twitter at The Showstoppers or Instagram at Showstopper Musical. And you can, leave us messages or say nice things to us because we're quite needy. Because we give everything out. We give it all out. We need some back in,
Come
baby.
on, give us this back. Yeah. And most important, klaxon alert. This is the end of the season and we're going to take next month off. But in December, on the 1st of December, we are doing our first ever
live Showstopper podcast.
That's right. And Pippa promises to speak in that voice for the whole show.
The entire show will be spoken like this.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be the same fun, but we're going to have an audience there. We're going to have amazing guests, and there'll be lots of extra additional fun stuff that we're going to do just to enjoy the fact that it's live.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's at the Boulevard Theatre in Soho, which is a new theatre space.
It's gorgeous. It's such a nice place.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And it's called Revolve. We don't know if they're going to let us use it. I'm 100% sure they won't. Mainly because I just remember the chair formation means it would be the audience rotating, not us.
Yeah.
But then I think if I'd pay extra if they said you will rotate during the show.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So buy a ticket and there's a 0.01% you might rotate during the show. But it'll be so much fun and you can get tickets from the Boulevard Theatre website. It's on December the 1st. Kicks off at 6:30 p.m, I believe.
That's right, and you'll get to meet me, Pippa Evans, and Andrew Pugsley in real life. Can you imagine? Oh, that's really a rare treat for most people.
Yeah, but also there'll be some amazing guests and some improvised songs and some hilarious bants.
Yeah, there will. So do come along to that. And Showstopper's got a few more touring gigs till the end of the year, so you can always look us up on our website,
showstopperthemusical.com.
But other than that, Andrew, have a lovely rest of the day.
You too, Pippa. Bye.
Goodbye now.